All right. Actually on time today. All ready to go. Hope everyone's having a great day today. I don't think there's anyone actually watching at the moment, but for anyone watching the VOD later, hope you're having a great day. Anyways, so I worked a little on this on my own just to kind of massage the faces a little. This one's clearly messed up, but everything's in the right place. So it's actually in a decent spot. I just have to go and fix all the bits that are, wrong at the moment, but everything's kind of in the right place. We'll see if I can do that without having my entire head block the screen or the camera rather. I have a stool to try and use. It might help me get lower, kind of out of camera now, but whatever. Better that than blocking the painting, I suppose. At least that's how I feel about it. I need to get closer to my reference. All right. So there are brushes that are very, very small and capable of going in there and painting like very, very small details. But those brushes tend to get ruined really fast. Or I tend to ruin them really fast. Either way, they get ruined really fast under my care. So I'm going to be trying to use these thingies, which they're just little silicone shape pushers. They aren't as good as brushes in a lot of ways. They lack a lot of the fine control uh, and definitely lack some of the edge control. But they make up for it in a lot of other ways, so I'm going to give it a shot. The ways that they make up for it is one, they easy to clean, which I personally am a huge fan of that. Other thing is they do a good job of like putting down thicker paint or paint that covers that has more coverage. A lot of times brushes that are very small just can't hold a lot of paint, or if they can, then they can't if they can hold a lot of paint there, then they can't they have very thick coarse hair, and that that affects how the quality of the brush. So yeah. And like I said, there are some brushes that pull it off, And of course, part of it also depends on the consistency of your paint and so on, and your surface, which is another reason I'm using this. This surface right now, not the smoothest, but so the silicone things do a better job of cutting through, or not cutting through, rather, covering, going on top of the rough surface. These silicone shape pushers happen to be like very, very cheap ones. I'm hoping to pick up a couple or some better quality ones at some point. And there's nothing really wrong with the part that you like paint with, but it's I have some of them coming off of the wood. That's what I mean by cheap, like literally falling apart. They also sell them. They do sell them at different like consistencies, so you can get softer ones and firmer ones. These ones were gifts, so I'm not entirely sure, but I suspect they're on the softer side of things. I've never, only firm one I have is my wipeout tool, which is not this. It's the same, but it's not the same. You know, it can do the same thing, but it's not designed for it. It's designed to wipe paint off. That's why it's a lot firmer. Something I am trying to be aware of is I don't want to get overly stuck in the details on this painting. Um, the I just want it to read and be clear. Like, this is a person, this is a guy. You know, he is looking in this direction. This is roughly like the type of hair he has. You can kind of get an idea of his age and so on. And that's it. I don't want all the facial detail in there. This isn't a portrait. And there's another thing I love personally. I have a thing for paintings that look um, very different at a distance and up close. I feel like it's a magic trick that I don't know. that I really like and enjoy. And I do want to be able to incorporate that into my work. And so hinting at detail versus actually hinting it, or not hinting, suggesting it in a way that makes you think it's there at a distance is something I like a lot. One of my favorite paintings that I've done recently is probably one of the worst paintings I've ever done. Not ever done, I take that back. One of the worst paintings I've done in the last, I don't know, couple of years. As far as like structure and technique are concerned. Um, but like I said, it accomplishes the other things I like so well. I don't mind because I don't have anything to prove, you know. It doesn't matter to me. Like I enjoy showing off skill, of course, but and technical capability, but that's not the main focus. And I think that's something that like people when they learn to paint, um, I do think that's a what's it called? Something that when they learn to draw or paint, kind of a trap that people fall into at some point because you work so hard to like get good at, you know, at like the skills of, you know, everything. That once you're good, you want to show it off. But those skills are honestly secondary to a lot of other aspects. That's just the, you know, that's just the beginning. And ironically, in a lot of ways, the easiest part, even though it, you know, it doesn't always feel that way. I'll show the painting a little later. I don't want to ruin the the flow I've got going right now. But when I'm ready to take a short break, I'll go grab it. Show you what I'm referring to. Yeah, well, I'll go show it now just because I don't want it to be too disconnected from what I'm talking about. So, and like I said, even though I don't think anyone's actually watching, well, maybe looks like someone's watching. Um, Here we go. So, I'll show it on the small screen because that will actually do a good job of illustrating, I guess, what it looks like being far away from it. Um, yeah. Or it would if it could focus on it. So this is the painting, and it's one of my favorite because at a distance, it looks like a painting of, you know, a woman, obviously in a bathtub. You don't actually see anything, but you know, she's there. Um, you know, all that. When you can actually get close to it and see it, like those are barely eyes. You know, there's none of the form of eyes, none of the eyelids, the, you know, and like none of that's there. But when you're very far away from it, you can't tell. But as you get closer to it, you really can see how like little there is there. And I really I really like that personally. Not just this painting, like any painting that has that ability to like change as you get closer to it. But yeah, from a distance, you don't see that at all. Like it just looks like, uh, man, the glare is killing it. But yeah, that's why I like the that's why I like those single value um, paintings as well, because you really have to kind of get up close to it and to see it in order to actually see the painting. Because at a distance, it almost like you can barely even see it. Although, ironically, up close you can barely see it as well. So maybe not the best example, but yeah. Keep seeing something jump around. I can't tell why, what it is on my screen. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I keep seeing something like out of the corner of my eye, like popping up like an alert, but I can't see what it is. That, by the way, is why you see artists squint a lot. It compresses your values, so it compresses like the darks and the lights together to bunch things up to make it easier to see. And it also gets rid of all the well, not all, but you know, it condenses the details so you can see kind of like bigger picture on everything. Because our eyes are fantastic, but also very stupid. Same thing with our brains. Like our brains are great, but also really stupid. And so they can get in the way of painting a lot in a lot of ways. I mean, that's one of the things, like, that's one of the things, new artists, student artists need to learn in the beginning. And, oh, by the way, this is what I was referring to, like, it's just coming off. That's not good quality. Um, but yeah, that's one of the things a lot of students need to learn early on and keep reminding themselves probably for their whole life. Um, I do it too. To paint or draw like what it is you see, or if you're drawing from reference, or to draw, you know, like the real thing if you're drawing from your head and not the like kind of representation of it. Not to say that you can't. Like obviously, anime and cartoons have a lot of like representational drawing built into them. Like, this is an eye. It's like that's not what an eye really looks like, but it represents an eye, or what we think of as an eye. But when you're painting, when you're doing from life work and so on, yeah, you really need to like force yourself to not um, draw what your brain thinks it sees, or like what it represents. That's why people do the thing where they'll put their painting upside down, and they'll paint the reference upside down and all kinds of stuff like that. Like that's why those tricks are there. That's why people do that. It's to kind of, you know, stop your brain from filling in what's there and just actually see what's there. I know I've used this example before in the past, but that that thing with the dress was a great example of that. The dress that was like black and blue or gold and white. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. That was people just filling it in. And the thing is, it's not always even on like what's it called? Like things that we're from like that we know, or like what I mean is it's not always like concepts. It can also be things that you're looking at the moment, as in like you're looking at your own drawing for too long. And so your brain is starting to fill in parts and kind of fix it for you. And you don't even realize it's happening. That's why, that's why proofreaders, that's why there are proofreaders. Like it's the same concept. You write something and you don't even see that there's a mistake because you've seen it so many times. I've said this before, but I really wish I could use these things instead of brushes for like the whole painting from start to finish. Um, I don't feel that I can because the control for some things just isn't there. Um, Especially in the early stages when you want to put down like thinner paint, I think. I don't know. They are just so much easier to clean and they last so much longer. As long as they don't come off the off of the wood like this one. Hey Don Lee, welcome. Oh, sorry I missed your chat there. Good to see you. I am using right now. I'm using these things. These ones are from Median, but they were a gift. So um, it's just these like silicone, you know, little like uh, tools. They have all kinds of shapes. These ones are just like flat wedges. They come in all kinds of shapes, um, you know, and sizes. And they also come in different firmnesses. Like, I don't know if that's a word, but this one's like very soft. This one isn't the same thing exactly, but it's basically the same thing. This is a wipeout tool, and these are a lot more firm. I think they might be rubber versus same concept. Oh, it looks like OBS cut out for a second. That's fun. Okay, well, hopefully it's back now. Anyways, yeah, so these are the tools I'm using right now. They are, I can't use them for the whole painting, unfortunately. I just wouldn't have the control that I need and like the variation that you naturally get from a brush. But for like very, very small detailed things, like, like I'm doing right now, they're really good because a lot of brushes at this size have a tendency to, they have a hard time holding a lot of paint. They have a hard time covering rough surfaces. They have a hard time, uh, like, they tend to splay very easily because they're just generally more delicate, right? So, um, so yeah, that's what I was talking about. I wish I could do the whole painting with these. I keep saying because they're so much easier to clean and maintain compared to brushes. They're kind of like an in between like a brush and a palette knife. It's almost it's almost like an in between of those two things. Have I ever tried some of those cheap foam brushes? Yeah, I actually have some of those, but they're not. Um, rather, take that back. I have some of them. There might be other versions of it. Uh, you know, those are not really good for painting, um, unless you want a particular effect. Otherwise, they're not very useful for painting, in my opinion. I'm sure someone can do a fantastic job with them. They might be better for acrylics than for oils, though. Um, Possibly. But yeah, I have some of those. I actually use them for the ones I have are these ones, right? This thing. Um, yeah, I think maybe they'd be good for covering a large area with a large brush. Yeah, I use I actually use it mostly for varnishing. That's what I use mine for. Yeah, they could be good for like simple applications. Um, uh, you know, big areas, not important brush marks, like stuff like that, or particular textures, like I said. Varnishing, interesting. Yeah. So when you're varnishing with Gamvar, which is the varnish I use, it's a unique it's a unique varnish because it has Gamsol in it, and that's the solvent inside of it. So what happens is the brush. So varnish is designed to dissolve. Um, you know, eventually, like the whole idea of varnish is you can take it off, right, so that you can clean the varnish, reapply it, and therefore like clean the painting, right? That's what it's designed for. So the 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 brush, I actually, when the varnish dries on it, the brush becomes well, not rock hard, but very hard. Um, but then you just put a bit more varnish back on it, and it just softens right back up, and you can keep using the brush. You don't actually wash the varnish brush. You just keep using it. That's specific to Gamvar. I don't know about other varnishes. Some other varnishes are way more intense than Gamvar. And I don't know how you varnish acrylic paints. I'm sure they sell varnish for it. I just don't know how it works. Acrylic paints are interesting because um, they never like harden, right? So they're always like soft to, to a degree, and yeah, my understanding is that can make what's it called, like preserving them difficult. All right, Michelle. It's so small. Uh, yeah, that's something's off there. I'll have to. All right, I'm gonna leave that for now. I think either the hairline needs to come down or the eyes need to go up. When I'm looking at it, I think the eyes need to go up. But when I um could be both. You really can't without seeing the reference, you can't know which aspect of it I messed up. Donnelly says very small details, just need to zoom in and reduce your brush size. Yeah, right. Thanks, man. But yeah, they're very helpful. Yeah, that when it starts getting to like this size in a painting, it is literally like millimeters differences, or sometimes like half a millimeter difference makes all the difference. I have done that before. I was at a when I was at a comic book convention. I I was doing excuse me. Um, I was doing commissions. You know, I was taking commissions at the convention, trying to get them. You know, you take commissions while you're there to finish while you're there, kind of thing. Uh, and I'd been working all digitally at that point, and I would try and like pinch to zoom or control Z when I mess up, like on the actual painting. Just, oh yeah, this is pencil. I can't do that. Yeah, I've done that live before. You've done that too? Yeah. Yeah. I also on the iPad, uh I told this story before, but I was sketching on the iPad, and it it felt and looked so much like you know, pencil on paper kind of thing, that I after I erased, I did the eraser flick to get rid of all the eraser dust. I've done that too. It in painting it doesn't quite feel the same, but when sketching, it does a good job of it. Yeah, I don't have to kick yourself about it. Just laugh. I'm not the best at like laughing at myself and being easy on myself, but yeah, it's something I want to overall just be better at. Like, shouldn't I personally feel like I shouldn't take myself as seriously as I do a lot of times. I might, I don't know. I'm debating it. I might take Wednesday off streaming, um, and come back on Sunday. We'll see. Debating it right now. Donnelly says more of a mental kick, shake my head, laugh type of thing. I mean, you're probably heard my reaction when I messed up on stream. Yeah, no, you're really good about it. You have a really good attitude on stream too. For anyone who doesn't know, Donley streams on Twitch under Don Leo is his username. Um, yeah, and he does digital artwork. He's a lot of fun, and yeah, he's got a good attitude about things. He's very overall lighthearted and fun. Makes for a fun stream. But yeah, I'm debating taking Wednesday off just so I have a little more time to work on my new computer so I can actually start streaming from it because I don't think otherwise I'll have it ready in time to start streaming from it. And I feel like maybe that would solve some of the problems I've been having on stream lately with the quality or the disconnects that I've been having. Or at least it'll act as a way of, you know, making what's it called? Troubleshooting because it'll let me know that what the problem is, you know. It'll rule out my computer as being the issue. I'm sure sometimes it's not my computer and it's what's it called? It's the internet connection. I don't doubt that, but it's not too bad today. It disconnected once, but other than that, though, it actually hasn't been too bad. So I don't know. Probably should have what's it called? Probably should have skipped today's stream, honestly. Mondays have a tendency of being a very slow day. By the way, Dunley, how you doing with that thing you're getting ready for? Did you have it already? just in touch with my contact. They're super busy and are trying to figure out a time to meet. Oh man. All right. Well, good luck, man. I hope it works out, you know. Yeah, man. You know, personally, and this is how I deal with things, uh, I am always scared to get my hopes up about things because I don't want to, be disappointed. Although it's kind of fake because, you know, I do get my hopes up when things happen. You know, but I try to constantly remind myself that, you know, not to kind of thing. Um, not that that's necessarily the healthiest way of going about things. Just saying that's like how I deal with like situations that are kind of like what you're talking about. But one thing I've had to um, kind of work on and remind myself over time is that like a lot of times, whatever it is, if it doesn't work out, a lot of times it has nothing to do with you. And only reason I say that is because I know as artists, we put a lot of value or connect a lot of personal value to our, our work. And an extension to that is our, success in our work and so on. But yeah, a lot of times none of that stuff has anything to do with us. And I say that as a way of like, admittedly protecting myself, because I have to remember that my personally. was worried that getting into the details on stream might not be the best. Still think it might not be the best, but I I have too many paintings that are unfinished that I don't have time to finish to put this one off too. A lot of the paintings I started on stream, I never finished. They're like 90% finished. I just have to go in and like complete them. I just haven't had the time. I might do a finish, like a finisher stream or something like that, where I just try and finish all the paintings that I haven't had a chance to. Just go in and try and get just the fine details, you know, not worry about whether or not my head's blocking the painting or not. When it comes to like really sharp or straight lines in painting, it's really not my favorite thing to do. And I tend to try and I'll do them all using, uh, you know, tools like this one that will kind of, I want to say do it for me because they're not, entirely doing it for me, but they aid in it. Whereas if I try and do it with a brush, it just doesn't work out as well. Oh, what's it called? Works too. Palette knives also work sometimes. Just depends on what it is. Conley says Leon's extreme painting finishing marathon Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. At the power jump. Yeah, exactly. Kind of. Yeah. Just try and do that and like try and power through and try and, like see if I can see how many paintings I can finish in one Sunday sitting. Oh, by the way, Donley, I found that music video. I'll share it in my Discord at some point, probably tonight or tomorrow or something. Yeah, I found the music video. Donley says, "Cool. I tried looking a little bit, but didn't see any titles and thumbnails that seemed obvious and art related." Yeah, no, no, absolutely. Yeah. But I didn't incline like I didn't remember the name of the song, but looking at their songs, I was like, oh, it's got to be this one, and I was right. So, so Donley, do you know when you're streaming next, by the way? I know you're busy getting ready for your thing, for your interview thing, but you know, do you have plans on streaming anytime soon? Only says I've wanted to stream the last couple of days, but I also have a commission that I need to do, and it's not stream friendly, and I'm conflicted. That's fair. That's tough. Um, there's another streaming service. Actually, there might be two. Finally says maybe tomorrow if I'm able to. Yeah. There's two other streaming services though. There's one that's for art. Pico or Poco or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. They're a little more um, forgiving for like certain things because they're more art related, so they know that like you know people do nudity in art and it's fine. And then the other one is Kick, maybe. They don't seem to have a lot of rules there. I know it's not the same if you have like a what's it called, channel already on Twitch. It's definitely not the same. Um, let's see. It's not the commission is spicy or anything. It's just not the most interesting to watch. That's fair. What was the first one I mentioned? It's like Pico or Poco or something like that. Can't remember what it's called. I think it's more popular with like the anime crowd. I think that's the like impression I got from it. I could be wrong about that. Tried to look it up, no luck. Um, hmm. Try searching streaming service uh and Picardo. Yes, that's it. Okay. Wait, Picarto? Yeah, Picarto. That's it. Okay, you got it. I was wrong about the name, obviously. Sounds interesting. I'll have to check it out. Yeah. Um, I keep meaning to check it out and never do. But like I said, I got the impression that it's more like the anime crowd. Not that there's anything wrong with the anime crowd. It's just not, you know, the oil painting crowd. If you don't mind me asking, like, why would it be not interesting if it's, if it's not spicy, then why would it be like not interesting? I mean, you know, like, I don't think this is, I don't know if this is particularly interesting. So, you know, kind of depends on your perspective on things, I suppose. Donnelly says, oh, yeah, not so much into the anime crowd. At least what I've seen of it here on Twitch, it's mostly giant boobs and anime people, furries, etc. No, there's definitely that crowd. Like I said, I haven't looked into Picardo that much, so I can't. Don't prejudge it. You know, on my behalf, I would be that'd be a disservice. What just happened? Did something just happen? I saw like my screen flicker or something out of the corner of my eye. Oh. Let me know if you saw like the what's it called? The stream glitch out or something. I'll have to go back and watch the oh, what's it called? The restream to see what's going on. Dunley says I'm not streaming it partially because I'm figuring things out as I go, and I like to be able to verbalize what I'm doing with chat if possible, but I don't think I can do that if I'm feeling kind of lost in the piece. That's fair. Absolutely. You didn't notice any issues with the stream, uh, though my eyes weren't directly on the screen when you noticed it happened. Yeah, I'll have to go back and look. It also could be. It could be only happening on one of the streams, so it could be um, only the what's it called, the YouTube stream that's having issues versus the Twitch stream. Conley says, commencing Operation Lurk. Please continue on your harding mission. Good luck with yours, Donley. Good luck with yours. Oh, I wonder if it's bad to go to the chiropractor every day. I went today and I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to go tomorrow again. Donley says, did they give you some exercises and stretches to do at home? You're always watching Mondragon. She's a chiropractor on YouTube. You can tell she really knows what she's doing, and sometimes they show her instructing clients on things to do in between visits to help with their situation. No, the place I go to doesn't do that. However, I have been going to physical therapy for a long time recently. I just recently stopped going. Um, so I have a ton of like exercises I should be doing. Um, but now that I'm not going to physical therapy anymore, I haven't been very good about doing them. And I am feeling that I need to get back to it, honestly. It's just you know, like working out, it can be tough to find the time, but I do need to prioritize it. What was it? This year? Was it? Oh yeah, it was this year. Yeah, it was this year. Jeez, time. Yeah, this year I had nasal surgery, and so I maxed out my my out of pocket expenses on my insurance. Um, so I did a lot of doctor visits, uh, trying to cram in everything I can so that you know I can take advantage of the insurance I have. Thanks, Donley. Yes, I will do my exercises. Enjoy your lurk. Yeah, this whole part is just a bunch of like tedious stuff. And it's not bad. Like this is, these are the things that pull a painting together, right? Um, it's just definitely not a flashy part of painting, right? Oh my god, I heard wish I remember where I heard this. But I heard um this story recently about this French filmmaker. And I was just like, "Oh my god, this is the best thing ever." He was um he was angry at the he was upset with the it's not the MPA or whatever it is, but it's the French version of that. The whoever it is that who rates the movies for adults or not for adults or whatever. Um, so he was upset with them. So he made a movie um, about paint drying, and it's literally like a 3 hour movie where he films a wall with paint on it to watch it dry. Uh, but they, and he submitted it to the for review, and they had to watch the whole thing because you never know in case there's something in there that's not supposed to be there. They have to watch the whole thing. Oh, I thought that was so good. I just love how like petty it is. But also it's because I'm not a huge fan of like, you know, the MPA or whoever versions of that. I mean, I understand why it exists, you know, but yeah. Yeah, the reason I thought of that is just because I sometimes feel like, you know, part of the painting process is very much about as interesting as watching paint dry. But it's not entirely accurate because, like, when I watch Nicholas Uribe paint, I love watching him paint all the way to the end. So, you know, it's probably just an insecurity on my behalf, basically. Not that it really matters because, like, this is the process, and there's just no getting around it. unless you just don't do it. Hey, Dan the man. Good to see you. How you doing? Doing good. How about you? Doing all right. Yeah. The painting is coming along pretty good. Um, Pretty happy with the direction it's going. It's just it's in that state. Well, actually in a decent stage. It's just it's time consuming to like go in and put in all those little all those details and finishing, and not even finishing touches. Just going in and putting in all the little details and modeling all the little bits, because there's a lot of like there's like a table and chair and all these like little bits here and there of like the leg and this leg and that leg, you know. Um, but yeah, otherwise it's going good. It's looking pretty good to me. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I think it's coming along good. It's just the what's it called? The beginning stages of a painting, and like I'd say the first, I don't know, 10 to 20% of a painting is really good on camera, right? Because it's like, you go from a blank canvas to like, not a blank canvas. And the painting starts to like take form, and you start getting all this, you start making all this progress. And then it just kind of slows to a crawl. Um, at least in my painting practice. Everyone's different, of course. Um, but yeah, and I don't mind that. I don't want it to sound like I actually mind it. I enjoy a lot of this part of the painting process is actually can be very enjoyable for me personally. I just, you know, also doing it on stream is kind of the thing that I am concerned with sometimes. But having said that, my goal is more to be a painter than a streamer. The streaming is a way of sharing my painting, not a way of like becoming a huge, streamer, I guess would be the way to put it. So, yeah. Also, I think for people who aren't familiar with it, seeing this is valuable because I think a lot of students, uh, art students and stuff, they don't realize how much time goes into a painting, kind of thing. Uh, Dan says it's like a lot of stuff where 90% of the effort goes into the last 10% of the details. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Or like the last 20% takes up 80% of the time, Like it's kind of that type of thing. Absolutely. Yeah, I think sometimes with social media and like, YouTube um and everything and also concept art, I think some people think that like, you know, paintings are done very quickly, um, you know, and sometimes frantically and so on. And some people work that way. I'm not going to say no one works that way, but, you know, not the case for a lot of art. The old 80-20 rule. Yeah. I mean, that might not be accurate, but it's a good estimation. Like it probably isn't entirely accurate, but it I think it illustrates to people quickly and simply like what, you know. Since people are already familiar with it, I think it helps explain it. Are you currently also watching West Side Tyler? while you're here, Dan? When I don't have a lot of people in chat, or sometimes there's like no one in chat. I mean, luckily that's not off. Wait, what was that? Um, Something glitched out again. Why does it keep glitching? Uh, Dan says no, had an appointment to go to. Just got back and saw you were streaming, so dropped by to see how things were going. Oh, thank you so much. I was gonna say, yeah, I'm tempted to, I've been tempted to like just watch stuff while painting, when no one's around, kind of thing. Of course, I will get my channels, striked with the copyright thing, but I don't do it. But yeah. Well, thanks for stopping by. I do appreciate it. I keep seeing my computer keeps like glitching out on me, and it's never when I'm looking at it. It's always like out of the corner of my eye, I see something happen. I'm gonna have to go back and see um, if there's any like hugely dropped frames or something. I'm going to be calling it a night soon. Uh, but yeah, this has been going well today. I'm going to have to go back and look at this stream, try and see if there was like a bunch of dropped, frames and so on. I'm supposed to be streaming on Wednesday, but if my computer's been bugging out on me, I um, might cancel this Wednesday's stream so that I can be better prepared for Sunday's stream. Like I said, I have to go in and like watch it and see what's going on. I don't like that. But yeah, I usually stream Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday day. For anyone who's also watching the VOD, like I said, there's a chance this Wednesday I might not stream, but generally I've been really good about keeping to my schedule, and I'm really happy with that. So I'm gonna keep at it. If all is well, I'll try and drop in on Wednesday as well. Yeah, absolutely. I'll post about it if not. At the moment, I'm going to say definitely streaming Wednesday. And if if I go through the VOD and I see that like, no, it's been my computer's like totally messing up, then I'll post about it because I have access to the community, whatever it's called, so I can post about it and give everyone a heads up. But yeah, otherwise I will be streaming. I recently, I know I've been talking about it like nonstop. Trust me. The obsessive, uh, whatever ADHD brain. But I recently like bought computer parts and built an upgrade system for myself. But it's not ready yet to stream off of. But I think this computer is having some trouble with it. So that's like just the thought process that's been going on in my head recently. Yeah, I always try and say like I'm gonna be ending stream soon, and try and give it at least 5 minutes, if not like 10 to 15. Just because of the delay. So many times people, um, will come in right at the end or whatever. To try and give it a big runway. I wish there wasn't such a delay in between like me talking and you know reaching people and so on. It makes conversations difficult too. Before I go, I will bring out Dresden uh, for everyone to see and say goodbye. He's here asleep next to me, and I don't mind waking. Generally, I try not to like wake him up if like why be an ass? But hey, he kind of deserves it because he does it. What's it called? Does it to me out in the mornings. And second, I'm going to need my chair back, so that's why. Doesn't seem to be a big delay as Tyler's stream. So you think he does it on Tyler? He doesn't read the. I don't know if it's Tyler Taylor. Tyler, yeah, whatever. He doesn't read his chat regularly enough. He literally just doesn't see it. For me, the way I have my setup right now, so this camera is, the face camera. Over there, I have Photoshop, and I have my OBS, and I have the chats as well. And because I'm always looking at my reference, because that's what Photoshop is for. Like I just have my reference open in Photoshop. Because I'm always looking at it, I'm always looking towards my chat as well. So I try to keep an ongoing conversation. When there's not a lot of people, it can be sporadic, but sometimes I'll have I don't know, 5 to 15 people or something like that. And when there's like that many people talking, it's, you know, it's a good it's a good conversation. It's nonstop. Dan says I think he mentioned having a delay so that he can cut stream if someone says something he wants to cut. Yeah, he also has the chat running on screen, which is probably a part of it. I don't. It doesn't help that he doesn't keep up with chat. Anyways, yeah, no, he does not do a good job of keeping up with chat. But I don't. Part of the thing is I don't have the chat running on the screen. So that's part of it. I don't have to worry about it later on, kind of thing. I also try and read out the questions a lot of times, or the answers. So I do a lot of like rereading of chat, and the reason I do that, and the reason I don't have it running on screen is because one, I might want to use this stuff later, and I don't want to have the chat. I don't want to have to cut out the chat kind of thing, and I don't want it to get in the way. And then the other thing is, I know a lot of people. I follow other artists, and when I'm watching their live streams, a lot of times I'm not like dead set watching the whole time. I'm doing other things. A lot of people I know do that. They'll paint or draw while watching. So I know that they're not looking all the time. So I read out chat, you know, like for them, basically. Anyways, here's Dresden. Chat alert coming in. Oh, it's a sleepy boy. Yeah. Oh, he's such a sleepy boy. Sleepy boy. Hi, Dresden. He's so cute. Sorry I woke you up. I'm going to need my chair back. Yeah. That's the problem with you sleeping on my chair when I need it. I have to wake you up. I literally, my old computer chair that I don't use anymore, I still have it in my room just for him because it's his chair. Oh, look at that belly. Big, fluffy, ginger, adorable. Yeah, Dan, he is. And he's such a sweetheart, too. He's a very sweet, loving, and gentle cat. Very annoying, too, and dumb. But, yeah. All right, Dresden. He's named Dresden after the Dresden Files, not after the city. All right. And with that, I'm calling it a night tonight. Dan, thank you so much for stopping by. Like I said, I stream Monday night, Wednesday night, and Sunday day. I will be, doing that anyways, unless something comes up. Yeah. Thanks, Donley. Appreciate it. And thanks, Dan, for stopping by. And anybody else who is here lurking, thank you so much. And VOD gang, I appreciate it. Hopefully you see me Wednesday. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, if not, I've been real good for the last, I think, 3 months or so. So I'm going to keep it going. Streams are going to keep coming. Have a good night.